In today's video, we're diving into one of the most addictive genres in gaming, management and base-building games. These titles test your reflexes, patience, and planning skills, making you feel like a logistics genius or a complete fool. Let's jump into the best games in the genre. If you've ever looked at a city and thought, I could design this better, Cities Skylines was made for you. The game puts you in full control of a growing city, starting with nothing more than a stretch of land, a highway connection, and a limited budget. From the very first minutes, it feels calm and inviting, letting you learn at your own pace. You begin by zoning residential, commercial, and industrial areas, setting up water pipes, power lines, and basic services. Watching the first houses appear and seeing your city come to life is surprisingly satisfying. There's a strong creative side here, where building something functional and beautiful becomes the main reward. As the city expands, the real challenge begins. You design neighborhoods, plan public transportation, build parks, schools, and hospitals, and try to keep your citizens happy. But growth always comes with consequences. Traffic slowly turns into your biggest enemy. One poorly planned intersection can paralyze the entire city, stopping garbage collection, blocking emergency vehicles, and triggering a chain reaction of problems. That's where Cities Skylines truly shines. It forces you to think like a real city planner. Fixing one issue often creates another, whether it's pollution, water contamination, or overcrowded infrastructure. This constant cycle of problem solving is what makes the game so addictive. You're always improving, adjusting, and learning, and hours disappear without you noticing. Cities Skylines isn't just about building a city. It's about understanding how fragile and complex urban systems really are, and that's exactly what makes it so compelling. Oxygen Not Included is about surviving physics itself. The game drops you inside a sealed asteroid with just 3 duplicates and one simple problem. There is no oxygen. From that moment on, every system you build is a matter of life or death. At first, it feels manageable. You dig tunnels, place oxygen generators, build toilets, and grow food. But Oxygen Not Included quickly reveals its true nature. This isn't just a colony builder, it's a brutal simulation of gases, temperature, pressure, and biology. Every element behaves according to real rules, and ignoring them always comes at a cost. Carbon dioxide sinks and slowly suffocates your farms. Oxygen rises and overheats upper levels if you're not careful. Machines generate heat non-stop, and without proper cooling, your entire base can literally cook itself. Germs spread through polluted water, stress causes duplicates to snap, and one small mistake can cascade into total collapse. What makes the game addictive is how interconnected everything is. Clean water creates polluted water. Filtering it generates heat. Producing power releases carbon dioxide. Algae runs out. Every solution creates new problems, forcing you to think several steps ahead at all times. When things go wrong, and they fail spectacularly. Pipes burst, steam floods rooms, crops die, and your carefully planned base turns into chaos. And yet, learning from those disasters and slowly mastering the systems is incredibly rewarding. Oxygen Not Included is demanding, complex, and unforgiving. But for players who love deep systems, micromanagement, and scientific problem solving, it's one of the most satisfying management games ever made. Anno 1800 looks calm at first. You place a few houses, build a market, and your farmers seem satisfied. But that calm fades quickly. What starts as a peaceful city builder slowly turns into a deep and demanding logistics game set during the Industrial Revolution. Everything in Anno 1800 revolves around production chains. Citizens do not just need homes. They want clothes, food, tools, beer, and luxury goods. To make something as simple as a shirt, you need sheep farms, wool production, and textile factories. To produce beer, you need grain farms, hops from another island, malt houses, breweries, ships, and trade routes. If one link fails, the entire system breaks. As your population grows and evolves from farmers to workers, artisans, engineers, and investors, their demands become more complex. Each new social class pushes your city forward, but also adds pressure. Soon, you are colonizing distant islands for resources, managing shipping routes, dealing with pirates, handling diplomacy, and balancing multiple economies at the same time. What makes Anno 1800 so addictive is how clear and readable it feels, even with all its complexity. You are constantly solving problems, fixing bottlenecks, optimizing routes, and improving efficiency. When everything finally works together, the satisfaction is huge. Visually, the game is beautiful, like a living oil painting. Detailed cities, factories, and ships fill the screen. Beneath that beauty, however, is a ruthless system of planning and optimization. Anno 1800 is not just about building cities, it is about thinking ahead, mastering logistics, and watching an industrial empire come to life. Planet Coaster is not just a management game. It is a pure creativity sandbox, disguised as a theme park simulator. Yes, there is money to manage, staff to hire, and guests to keep happy, but that is not the real heart of the experience. The true soul of Planet Coaster is its construction system. Instead of placing pre-made rides and buildings, you build almost everything piece by piece. Roller coasters are designed rail by rail. Shops are wrapped inside custom buildings built brick by brick. You control shapes, angles, heights, colors, and details with an absurd level of freedom. Because of that, the game often feels less like a traditional game and more like a professional 3D design tool made for theme parks. You can spend hours perfecting a single ride, synchronizing drops with music, lights, smoke effects, and scenery, then jump into first-person camera mode to experience it exactly like a visitor would. The community takes this freedom to another level. Players recreate real-world parks, build massive fantasy castles, sci-fi worlds, volcanoes, and impossible structures that feel handcrafted rather than generated by a game. Management still matters. Guests react to prices, queues, ride intensity, and park layout. Poor planning can lead to long lines, unhappy visitors, and financial trouble. But Planet Coaster always prioritizes creativity over punishment. It is the perfect game for players who love building for the joy of building, losing track of time while shaping something entirely their own. RimWorld looks like a base-building game, but that description barely scratches the surface. At its core, RimWorld is a story generator. You are not just building walls and farms, you are watching unpredictable, often tragic, and sometimes hilarious human stories unfold. The premise is simple. A group of colonists crash land on a remote planet. Your job is to help them survive. But each colonist is more than a worker unit. Every person has a background, personality traits, strengths, weaknesses, relationships, and mental limits. You might have a brilliant surgeon who is also a pyromaniac, a great farmer who refuses to clean, or a peaceful artist who completely breaks down if forced into combat. These traits constantly clash with survival needs. The game is controlled by an AI storyteller that does not send challenges in predictable waves. Instead, it creates drama. One day, everything is calm. The next day, a disease spreads through your colony. A mental breakdown causes someone to destroy vital machines, or a group of angry animals attacks out of nowhere. What makes RimWorld special is that failure is not the end. Losing is part of the experience. You do not remember the perfect base you built. You remember the colonist who lost a leg, survived against all odds, fell in love, and died in the worst possible moment. RimWorld is not about winning. It is about watching unforgettable stories emerge naturally from chaos. Timberborn is proof that management games can still surprise you with truly original ideas. In this game, you don't control humans. You control a colony of highly intelligent beavers trying to survive in a world shaped by droughts, floods, and environmental collapse. Water is the most valuable resource in Timberborn, and almost every system in the game revolves around it. You build dams, levees, canals, and reservoirs to control water flow, keep your farms alive, and power your machinery through water wheels. Every decision you make about terrain and water management has long-term consequences. The gameplay loop is incredibly addictive. You plan, build, observe, adjust, and repeat. A single mistake in water distribution can wipe out crops, shut down production, or doom your entire settlement during a drought. On the other hand, watching dry land slowly turn fertile because your system worked exactly as planned is deeply satisfying. Automation plays a huge role as your colony grows. You optimize production chains, manage labor, expand vertically, and prepare for increasingly harsh dry seasons. Timberborn constantly challenges you to think ahead and improve efficiency. It's one of those games where you sit down just to test something and suddenly realize 3 hours are gone. Calm on the surface, brutally strategic underneath, Timberborn is a must-play for anyone who loves management, planning, and watching systems come alive. Dwarf Fortress is not just a game. It's a full-world simulation that happens to look like a management game. Before you even start playing, the game generates an entire history with continents, civilizations, wars, myths, monsters, and legends, all existing long before your dwarves ever arrive. You begin with a small group of dwarves and a simple goal: dig into a mountain and survive. What happens after that is completely unpredictable. Every dwarf has a personality, memories, emotions, fears, and personal preferences. They react to trauma, loss, success, and even small details, like losing a favorite mug. The real appeal of Dwarf Fortress isn't winning. It's watching complex, often absurd stories emerge naturally from the simulation. A fortress can collapse because of poor planning, emotional breakdowns, drunken brawls, forgotten beasts, or because you dug too deep and unleashed something ancient and catastrophic. The systems are incredibly deep. Logistics, psychology, geology, weather, fluids, and combat all interact in ways that feel almost alive. Failure is not a mistake here. It's part of the experience. That's why the community's famous motto is simple: losing is fun. With its modern graphical version, Dwarf Fortress has become more accessible, but it never lost its soul. It's demanding, overwhelming, and endlessly fascinating. If you enjoy emergent storytelling and deep simulations, there is nothing else quite like it. Captain of Industry is a deep industrial management game that challenges you to rebuild an entire production system from scratch on a deserted island. You start with almost nothing and slowly turn raw land into a fully automated industrial powerhouse. The core of the game is logistics. You extract resources, move materials through conveyors and vehicles, generate power, manage waste, and refine production chains step by step. Every decision matters because space is limited, and inefficiency quickly turns into bottlenecks and shortages. What makes Captain of Industry especially addictive is how it forces you to think on multiple levels at once. You are not just optimizing a single factory line. You are managing energy, pollution, research, transportation, and long-term sustainability at the same time. As your island grows, problems scale with it. More machines mean more power consumption. More production means more waste. Solving one issue often creates two new ones, pushing you into a constant loop of planning, redesigning, and improving your layouts. Watching your island evolve from a rough coastline into a self-sufficient industrial complex is incredibly satisfying. Captain of Industry rewards patience, smart planning, and players who enjoy solving complex systems piece by piece. If you love automation and heavy logistics, this game will absolutely hook you for dozens of hours.